All right, my people, welcome. Today, let's talk about motion. Let's just touch a little on motion. So, what is motion? Motion can be defined as the change of position of a body with time. Okay, the change of position of a body with time. So, if I have this substance here and it moves from here to this point, it simply means this body has undergone motion. So that's motion. The change of position of a body with what? Time is motion. It's as simple as that. Now, we have different types of motion. Okay, number one, we have translational motion. Number two, we have random motion. Number three, we have oscillatory motion. Number four, we have rotational motion. There's one they call relative motion. Please note, it is not a type of motion. Okay, it's on its own. It's not a type. Later we'll talk about that. But let's discuss these four types of motion I have mentioned. The first one I mentioned was, if you are with me, what did I mention? Translational motion. What is translational motion? The motion of a body from one point to another point without rotating. That's translational motion. It's as simple as that. Are you getting it now? When a body moves from one point to another point without rotating, it's what we call translational motion. Now, the second one I mentioned is random motion. What is random motion? Random motion is the motion of a body with no specified direction. Some books will say with no preferred direction. An example now is the motion of gas particles. You know, gas now moving up, they don't have a specified direction. They move left according to the direction of the wind. Are you getting me? They move anyhow. So those type of motion is what we call random motion. Did you get me now? Okay. Then number three, I mentioned oscillatory motion. Okay. When they say oscillatory, it's a type of motion that involves a body moving to and fro about a point. Okay, when a body moves to and fro about a point, we call such motion oscillatory motion. And then the fourth one is now what we call the rotational motion. What is rotational motion? Rotational motion is the motion of a body in a circle about its axis. Now, let me talk more on the examples of this type of motion. Now, I have given you their definitions. Now, for translational motion, an example of a translational motion now is a car now moving down the road. Are you getting me now? A car just moving down the road. Or a person walking. Okay? A person is moving from one point to another point without rotating. Such type of motion is what we call translational motion. Did you get that now? Now, for random motion, I told you is a motion with no specified direction or no preferred direction or a motion of a body in a zigzag manner. An example is a butterfly flying, in the sky. They don't have motion. They don't have direction. They just move left and right. They just move. A bird flying. They just move. Are you getting me? A gas, particles moving up, left and right. They don't have a specified direction. So those are examples of random motion. Now, oscillatory motion. An example is, you must have heard of simple pendulum. Okay? That moves just like this. It moves just like this. You can see it's moving to and fro about a certain point. That is why we call it oscillatory motion. Okay, there are some clocks also, okay, where at the down part of it you see something like a ball just moving this way. That type of motion is what we call oscillatory motion. Do you get me now? And then for rotational motion, from the word rotates, for example, the earth rotates around the sun about its axis. So the rotation of the earth around the sun is called rotational motion. Rotation of the car wheel, the tire of a car, is also called what? Rotational motion. So on your own, okay, look for more examples on random, translational, oscillatory, and which other one have I not mentioned, and rotational motion. Look for more examples. Alright, so we've talked about definition of motion, we've talked about the types and their examples. Another question someone can ask you is, what causes motion? It's a simple question, right? So the agent that causes motion is called F-O-R-C-E, force. Force is an agent that changes the state of a body. Okay, changes the state. When they say the state of a body, simply means a body could be at rest, and then when that force is applied to it, it will make that body to start moving. Or a body could be moving. While it is moving, a force can come and stop that body from moving. That's why we say that force is an agent that changes the state of a body. Now, we have two types of force. Number one is called the contact force, and number two is called the, either I call it non-contact or force field. Okay, it's on the screen there. Contact force, number one. Number two, force field. What is contact force? Someone asks you, what is contact force? Contact force is a force that is in contact with the body it is applied to. That's contact force. So look at this ball over here. I want this now to move from here to here. No matter how anointed I am, I cannot do and it will move. No, I have to apply a force. So the force I will apply now that will move this body from here to here, the force I've applied is called push. I have pushed this thing. So push is an example of a contact force. You also have pull, P-U-L-L. You must have gone to some shops where in front of the door you see pull. It means hold the handle and what? And pull it towards you. Sometimes they write push. It means hold the handle and push it inside. So when there is a contact between the force and the door, we call such force a contact force. Okay, so we have pull, we have push, we have tension, we have torque. Okay, now what about the force? So what's the second one? It's called force field. So what is force field? These are types of forces that are not in contact with the body they are applied to. Okay, we have basically three of them: gravitational force, magnetic force, and electric force. Okay, if you take a look at these things, these forces I just mentioned, they don't need to be in contact with a body before that body will move. I have an object here. If I throw this object up, what happens? It will go up, get to a certain point, and start coming down. What is that force that brings it down? That force that brings it down without touching it is what we call gravitational force. So it's a force field. Do you get me? Magnetic force. If you bring two magnets together and you place them in the same pole, they should face each other. By the time you place them down, you see, and you are holding, so if you have like knots, okay, opposite same poles, you see, while you are moving this one towards the other magnets, this one starts moving away. It must not be in contact with it before it starts moving away. Do you get me? So that type of force is what we call force field. Are you get me? It must not be in contact. The same thing with electric force. Okay, the forces that moves charges, are you getting me now, along your cable or your conductor? You get me? So those forces are what we call force field. I say they are gravitational field, they are, which other one did I mention? Electric force, okay, gravitational force, electric force, and magnetic force. So these are the force field that we have. All right. Okay. The next time we'll talk on some equations of motion, okay, and how to solve questions on motion. See you. Bye.